It's Time Warner Cable's local edition. I'm Brad Pomerance. Meghan Sahli-Wells is here. She is a council member in Culver City. And if you didn't bike here, you were not invited. Because as you know, I'm a big fan of you and your commitment to biking. You bike to the studio from Culver City, which is not far. Talk to us about that commitment.
Do you want me to be honest or do you want me to be PC?
Both.
Okay. Well, I lived in Paris, car-free for 9 years.
Fantastic.
And
Super.
thank you. And it didn't make sense to have a car there.
Right.
They have great public transportation, walkable, fairly dense, and so, didn't want the burden of a car.
Right.
When my family and I decided to move here, the question was, did we go back to my childhood, because I grew up in Los Angeles, and do we get in the car and are we prisoners to the car, or do we keep eating croissants, butter, boeuf bourguignon, and really, be able to keep that lifestyle and that diet. And so selfishly, one of my reasons for biking is just so that I can eat what I want.
But also, you live in Culver City, which is so well located, and so you can do that. I mean, you could bike downtown. It'd be a little bit of a schlep, if I can use that cliche, but you could do it. But to the west, to the upper west, how would I say, like Century City you could get to, Santa Monica you can get to.
I'm very Culver City centric, so for the most part, I do everything in my own community because, as you said, we've got so much there. But when I go to meetings in downtown LA, I take my bike onto the Expo line.
Which is expanding, and we are so excited about that.
Yeah, it'll be in Santa Monica this time next year.
Right. I want to ask about your residents and give kudos to your residents, because as you know, we're facing a drought, and your residents were asked to cut their water usage by 16%, which means you are already doing pretty well.
Correct.
But recent figures had you at 19%. Meghan Sahli-Wells, tell us about what your residents are doing.
Over and above.
Right, over and above.
So brown is the new green.
Right, it is.
And
if it's yellow, let it mellow. We do.
I didn't say that, but it's true. Yeah. So, so the lawns are going brown, and it's kind of like the opposite of it used to be, where there was social pressure in order to have a manicured lawn.
Right now, it's the
reverse. And now it's quite the contrary. And thank goodness, this is not a problem that's going away. El Nino or no El Nino.
Well, let it be. Although a few weeks ago we had that crazy rainstorm, which felt like an El Nino rainstorm. It was so warm.
Yeah, and muggy. But then again, there's so much, there's so much concrete everywhere. It's not really permeating into the ground as it should be. So, what do we have? We don't have the water long term, no matter what the cycles are. And so we've got to change our ways, and it's beautiful. We've got brown, but we've also got more and more natives going in.
Drought tolerance.
So this is kind of a paradigm shift, and it's needed to happen for a long time.
Are some of your friends and neighbors putting in artificial turf?
Some are, and I don't like it. And I don't like it because, you might be dealing with water, which is important. It's a very fundamental issue, but you're not dealing with things like climate change. You're trapping heat. You're still using plastic.
Artificial turf is very hot.
It's hot. It's plastic. It's not. It doesn't smell good. It might have that green look, but to me, in the culture shift that we're doing, which is very positive, we can go so much better, and we can provide habitat.
What about appliances? Are folks starting to swap out their old appliances? Because that also is a significant factor.
This has been happening for a long time, and I'm happy to say that the city is budgeted money in this year's budget so that every city facility in the entire city will be more water-wise.
It's time for you to get back on your bike
and
go back to Culver City. We're right outside its borders. Her name is Meghan Sahli-Wells. She is a councilwoman in Culver City. I'm Brad Pomerance. It's Time Warner Cable's local edition.